Tonight's discussion of the week topic was suggested by OAW faithful and patron Trent Shaffer, who will be joining me this evening for this discussion of the week. But if you guys have a discussion topic of your own that you would like to see discussed right here on OAW Entertainment, become a patron at patreon.com/OAW and select the discussion of the week tier. In addition to your request for a discussion of the week video, you also get access to our Patreon exclusive content. You get access to the OAW Vote, and you get an invite to join in on the live monthly Q&A held right here on the OAW Entertainment YouTube channel, as well as the OAW Entertainment Facebook page and Twitter channel. Twitch channel. So once again, that is patreon.com/OAW. Select that discussion of the week tier. And hopefully I won't be canceled by the time I get around to it. So with that being said, this is going to be the discussion of the week video. Why do women seek attention? So let's get on with it.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Greetings to everyone watching live and everyone watching after the fact. Shout out to the faithful and salute to the patrons. This is Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief, here to bring you all a special discussion of the week. As I mentioned at the intro of the video, this was actually one that was selected during the Super Chat sweepstakes. My man Trent, he suggested it for the wheel, and as luck would have it, we ended up hitting that Super Chat goal to unlock that perk, and this was the topic that was suggested. So how's everyone doing this evening? I see you guys filing in. By all means, you want to get in on this stream right now, because after tonight's broadcast, this is going straight to Patreon. I am not keeping this up because I am not trying to get jammed up out here on these YouTube streets. But for those of you all, if you guys want to go ahead, read along, follow our discussion, I have left the questions that we will be tackling tonight in the description box below. So go ahead, give that a click, give that a read. Of course, as always, please feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And of course, if you guys have any questions or comments that you want to make sure get answered tonight during this broadcast before the show is over, you can always drop a super chat and I'll be sure to get to those. You can also support the channel via Cash App and PayPal. The links to those are in the description box below as well. So without further ado, let me go ahead and pull in my co-star for this evening, my special guest, as that's none other than OAW faithful and patron Trent. You guys know the man. Trent, say what's happening to the people.
Hello.
Are you messing around with your phone, man? It's go time.
Yeah, I was about to die on me. My apologies.
This is what I got to work with, ladies and gentlemen. So, Trent, tell the people what's happening.
Not much. It's just hanging out with you, Larry, on this, frankly, pretty wonderful Saturday evening. Well, night now.
I gotcha. Yeah. So to kick things off, Trent, I actually got a question for you, good sir. Tell us how did you come up with the topic for this evening?
Well, let me preface this by saying, for all of you who are watching, I don't speak as eloquently as Larry does. I speak in beats rather. So if I feel like I'm taking time to process my thoughts, that's because I am. I came up with this topic because it's something that's been on my mind for the last couple of years of my life, and I think Larry can agree with me on that. And I want to essentially get to the root of why we feel this way. So, yeah.
Why we feel this way?
Well, okay, correct. Well, why I feel this way.
Okay. Well, I think by the time we're done, you might get you might actually get that answer. So here's my next question for you. The topic for this evening, the question as stated, is why do women seek attention? So when that question is posed, what exactly is it that you mean by that?
Well, from my experience, it's all of their social media shenanigans. I guess I could say. Why is it that we see, thousands of selfies from them on Instagram and similar things of the like on just other social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, what have you? Like, why is that so important to them?
Okay, so essentially you want to get down to why is it that behavior that is conducted via social media and online? Why is it so habitual, and why it's so valued amongst the users of said outlets? Do I have that correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right. And so my third question for you is, what is the overall objective you're hoping to achieve by the end of tonight's discussion?
What I want to achieve is I want to increase my understanding and hopefully change my viewpoint on this topic of conversation, because I'll admit it, I'm not mature enough to have this conversation the way that I want to, and hopefully we can do that in a proper adult way that YouTube sees positive in the way they see fit.
Okay. Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure this is not going to be monetized. And everyone tuning in now, I'm pretty sure you guys did not see ads before this video. If you did, please feel free to let me know, because I did not turn on monetization for this video. I'm just throwing that out there. But okay, so with that being said, we will go ahead and proceed to the first question. So your first question, Trent, was, do you think women attention seek to weed out guys for dating? So can you elaborate on that question real quick? What do you mean by that?
Well, things that I've seen is that, well, I guess rather what I want to say is it a way for women to make guys asking them out to make it easier on themselves, if that makes sense. Like, is it?
Don't do that.
Sorry. Is it a way for to see what kinds of men will frankly put up with the attention seeking and who will not,
That's what you mean. So do they use attention seeking as a courting strategy, essentially?
Yes.
Okay, so here's the thing about that. So first off, let me go ahead and let me just set a baseline understanding for this discussion for you and for everybody watching. Okay. First off, why do women seek attention? Okay, that's very easy. This is why. Between the two genders, women typically are more communal. They're more social.
Mm-hmm.
There is an old adage. Men are typically interested in things. Women are typically interested in people. So for them, that's sort of a prime directive. They're just naturally more social and more communal than their male counterparts. Of course, men are social and communal as well. I'm just talking about a natural proclivity, what the natural leaning to. And of course, you have female introverts as all. We can always point out the exceptions to the rule, but keep that in mind. There are exceptions to the rule. They're not exceptions that create the rule. Okay. Yes, of course, you have female introverts and stuff like that, shut-ins and what have you. But more often than not, most women are regularly social creatures. Okay. There's also an old adage that goes, attention is the coin of the realm in girl world. Okay. Why? What does that statement mean? It means that amongst peer clutches and social groups that women are in, especially younger women, their main focus is the interactions and the relationships within said peer clutch, right? So that could be a group of friends, that could be a family, that could be with classmates, that could be with teachers. It's just whatever that group is, whatever that social group is for that female, right? That is very important to them. It's just a natural part of life. Their standing in said social group is imperative for them. And attention is one of the things that they use in order to determine their standing in said group. Okay. So to give you an example of what I'm talking about, it's an exaggerated example and it's a characterized example, but keep this in mind. Have you ever seen Mean Girls with Lindsay Lohan?
Yes.
Okay. You remember how there was that clique that Lindsay's character, gets into, the one with, that was Regina George. She was the leader of that clique and whatnot.
Yes.
Okay, so for someone like Regina, well, actually, all the girls did this, but you'll notice, like in that film, they talk about how they can generate attention from guys that they're interested in, or from other students, or maybe even from a female rival or something like that. You notice how they kind of, they had to dress a certain way, they had to do their hair a certain way, they had to do certain things. Attention is one of the things they use in order to move up or to become more significant within that specific peer clutch. You follow?
Mm-hmm.
So essentially what I'm getting at is the notion of like women seeking attention. That's just part of socializing. That's just a normal socialized thing that they do. Now, what you're experiencing and what you pointed out at the beginning of the discussion was you're talking about how this reflects itself online, which is a different animal because social media has changed. And I would say in many regards, exacerbated what used to be just natural, common social behaviors. We already know that social media does have deleterious effects on young people, on their psyche, on their self-esteem. It actually disconnects and disjoints people more than it actually brings people together, regardless of what it is they actually try to sell to you in the media. They try to make it seem like Facebook and Twitter and Reddit and Instagram and all these things are like bringing us together because it's connecting us all around the world. The problem with that is human beings didn't evolve like that. We did not evolve in a global in a global social sense. We are very much a tribalistic people. Mm-hmm. Whether the tribe is your family, your school, your business, your town, your city, your county, your state, or your country, we are still very much tribalistic and we operate within those tribes, right?
Yes.
So all of these things, all of these behaviors, mannerisms, social activities that we used to conduct in person, now everyone is doing it online. And it is readily available to anybody who crosses that page. And it's always there 24/7 all the time. Unless it's Snapchat, which apparently doesn't Snapchat deletes after like 24 hours or something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Unless it's something like that, right? But so pretty much what you're seeing is when you're talking about, certain behaviors that are conducted on social media, you're seeing what used to be natural social behaviors on steroids.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you follow so far?
Yeah, that's
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to throw that out there just as sort of like a baseline understanding of where I'm going to be coming from throughout this discussion, right? This isn't anything mysterious. This is science. It's all science. And the only thing I would say is unless you don't believe in evo psych, which is evolutionary psychology, if you don't believe in evo psych, then this will probably just go over your head. But that actually is sort of necessary to get where I'm coming from. You don't have to be you don't have to understand it to the T, but so far as, you're able to at least acknowledge that human beings have evolved over time, our behaviors, our mannerisms, our psychology, it's all evolution based. It's all evolution based. So if you're cool with that, then we can keep going. Cool? I didn't lose you?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. So to answer this first question, do you think women attention seek to weed out guys for dating? Well, of course they do. But that's nothing new. That's nothing new. And men do it too, actually. The male counterpart of what we're talking about, are you familiar with the term peacocking?
Yes.
Yeah, we do it too.
Yeah.
We do it too.
Oh, yeah.
The difference, though, is, as I mentioned earlier, attention is the coin in the realm of girl world, right? So for them, it has a higher currency. They put a greater value on attention than men do. Typically. Because if Little Richard was in this discussion, he would argue against, he'd argue against that. Because Little Richard had to be the prettiest one in the room. Yeah. Didn't matter who was playing. Didn't matter if James Brown was on stage. Didn't matter who was in the building. Little Richard had to be the prettiest one in the room. All right. So, but I'm saying typically, attention is more valuable to women.
I would say Prince would definitely fit in there too.
Yeah, Prince too. When he rolled in, he had to. And guess what? I'll use an even more traditionally masculine example. Ric Flair. Whenever Ric Flair entered the building, he had to be the prettiest one in the room. Mm-hmm. So we do it. And you want to talk about peacocking? Ric Flair is a textbook example of peacocking. He put freaking feathers on. He put feathers on his coats.
Oh yeah.
All right. So yeah, it's just when women using attention as a courting tool. I mean, dude, that's as old as time. And it's just the female version of peacocking. That's all it is. That is the reason why fashion is typically a female area of interest, despite the fact that all the biggest designers are men. But they're the primary consumer in that industry. And that's the reason why. Their clothes always got to be a certain way. They got to have matching bags. The hair got to be a certain way. And don't get me started on shoes. It's all built into the package. But again, that is a social dynamic. That's a natural social dynamic amongst women. That's it.
Uh-huh.
That's it. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
All right, cool deal. Okay. So the next question, now this one I'm real curious about, because you asked, do you think women attention seek for malicious reasons? What do you mean by that? Because you use that term malicious. So I want to know what exactly do you mean by that?
We'll see. The thing is, I don't know if I can explain it in a way that's totally appropriate for the stream, but I'll try my best. I guess what I mean is, do you think women do it as to a means of to again, going back to Evo Psych, almost as a way to get men to fight over her, if that makes sense?
Fight over them?
Yes.
Yes and no. I would actually argue that any type of ploy, right, that a woman may use in terms of trying to gain attention, more often than not, it could have to do with trying to quote unquote manipulate men. I've actually seen that more often than not, it's actually it's a form of what's the term? How do I want to put this? It's a form of warfare within the female gender. So it has less to do with actually the guys and more to do with the girl she's competing against.
Yeah.
Attention is the coin of the realm in girl world. They want all the attention, and they especially want more attention than their female peers or female rivals. It's one of the ways they combat each other. See, guys, when we have a rival, we fight. We physically fight. We physically inflict harm on our rival, or we will try to humiliate our rival, or we will try to best our rival, which is why we compete against each other. Girls are not always as overt. Actually, Dude, if you want to get down, just break it down to the base communication, right? Men were more overt. Like, when we communicate, when we do things, it's through our actions, it's through our words. It's direct. Women are always covert. They are always covert. They always communicate covertly, right?
True, yes.
So they never speak directly unless they absolutely have to. They usually are not as direct unless they absolutely have to. And they usually won't fight unless they absolutely have to. So whenever they use attention as sort of a way to disqualify a female rival, get back at a female rival, things like that. Yeah, attention is one of the ways they do it because it's covert. It's not overt.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, but in terms of like, do they do it for malicious reasons? I mean, they can, but that just depends on what case we're talking. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Your next question: do you think women attention seek when they like a guy? Not always. There doesn't even need to be a guy present.
Mm-hmm.
Again, attention is the coin in the realm of girl world. No guy actually needs to be present.
I take it that's gonna be the recurring slogan of the stream.
Oh yes. No, get this in your head, and everybody watching, make sure y'all take notes. Lesson number 1: attention is the coin of the realm in girl world. It is the main currency through which they operate within their peer clutches. That's how that works.
Mm-hmm.
That's how that works. Okay, let's see. Do you think attention seeking is beneficial for women? Well, of course it is. For a plethora of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just asking, Trent, do I need to dwell into that?
Well, you could, because I want to say, because I want to pick your brain on that. I want to see what you think.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, just to tell me what you think. Like what?
Yes, it is beneficial for them.
Okay.
And it has been beneficial for them.
In what ways?
In many ways. In terms of, well, first off, since for the most part we're talking about courtship, right? Mating and dating.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the woman who gets the most attention is usually the one that walks away with the man at the end of the night. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. And what are all the benefits that can have, right? She can produce progenies from that man. She can get resources from that man, provisioning from that man. I mean,
mm-hmm.
if we're talking about mating and dating, if we're talking about the man, how it is important for a woman to have a certain currency of attention, because that's what she's able to use in order to maneuver in those fields. The more she has, it will always benefit her. It will always benefit her. Look at any good looking woman.
Yeah.
You her ability to attract attention, how has that not been beneficial for her?
Very, very.
You ever notice how you never hear a woman complain about getting attention until it comes from the people she doesn't want attention from?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But if she's getting the attention from the people she wants it from, you've ever heard her complain?
Nope.
Because that's attention that benefits her. Now, the attention from people that she doesn't want the attention from, I mean, well, that doesn't necessarily benefit her, but it doesn't necessarily go against her either. It's just sort of like a moot point. You know what I mean? Like at that point, it doesn't matter. So now, of course, they will claim it's harassment. But then again, like I said, you can go up to a chick and give her a compliment, right? And she will claim it's harassment from you. But if Jason Momoa comes behind you and says the exact same compliment, oh, she's flattered from him. So It just depends on the person. It depends on whose attention they want. Because here's the other thing too, you have to understand. Remember how I said attention is the coin of the realm in girl world? Not all attention is equal.
No, it
Not
is
all
not.
attention is equal. Jason Momoa's attention is much more valuable than yours or mine.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Hemsworth's attention is much more valuable than yours or mine.
Yes.
So keep that in mind too.
No, I will.
Keep that in mind too. Okay, so do you think women encourage others to attention seek so long as it doesn't interfere with their ability to attention seek? Yes, they do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they do. Yeah. Because again, that's how they compete with their fellow women.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Why do you think men fall for attention-seeking attempts? Well, every man likes a good, every heterosexual man. Okay, there are certain things that set us off. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Correct.
A nice rack, a shapely bottom, some nice legs. Those are just gonna set us off. Those are just gonna set us off. Okay. We're built like that. Actually, I don't even know if you know this. Did you know that when a man is aroused by a woman, it activates the same part of his brain that is associated with tool use? Did you know that?
No, I did not.
Do you know why that is?
In all honesty, no, I do not.
Because when it comes to reproduction, when it comes to mating, men view that as a problem. We view that as a problem to be solved. The same way we think of hunger. When you're hungry, that's a problem. You need to be able to solve that problem. You need to eat. You need to get fed. Men think of sex in the same manner. We think because for most men, sex is not a given. You see what I'm saying? Like that's not something that is automatically and readily available to you. Most men actually have to try. They have to go out and attempt to be able to consummate any type of intimacy, right? So it's the same way, like back in our evolutionary past when we got hungry. Ooh, I'm hungry. Okay. Well, this is a problem. How do I fix that problem? Ooh, I have to hunt. I have to find food. How do I do that? Ooh, I got to go pick or I got to go hunt. So when it comes to reproduction, it's the same. It activates that same part of the brain because that is a problem that we are looking to solve, right? Mm-hmm. Well, when a man is aroused, okay, why do men fall for attention-seeking attempts? Because those attention-seeking attempts are activating that part of our brain.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, whether or not a male is successful in that is a totally different story. That's a case-by-case scenario. But when you ask, like, why do men fail for attention-seeking attempts? Because they don't know any better.
Correct. Yeah.
They don't know any better. Dude, you know how many YouTube videos I clicked on just because of the thumbnails? And come to find out that damn thumbnail isn't in a single frame of that video?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you.
Yep. How many comics have you bought just because they had a provocative woman on the cover?
Well, back in the day, probably more than I should have.
Dude, I have a collection of Witchblade comics for that reason. Mm-hmm. Why do you think I read Witchblade? It ain't for the story. Not entirely. I do like the mythology, but it's not totally for the story.
Okay.
It's not totally for the story. Okay. But yes, that's why men fall for that. It's our natural proclivity to do so. Okay, so your next question, do you think attention seeking makes women less desirable to men? Actually, no. Well, okay, hang on. That depends. That's a case by case thing. That depends. It depends. I'm gonna tell you what it depends on. It depends on if the woman is actually successful in that. You see what I'm saying? If her attention seeking attempts are actually successful, then no. Then no. Now, maybe you're referring to men being turned off because they see that their woman is out seeking attention.
Yes.
But that's a case by case thing, because guess what? That might be a turn off for you. That's a turn off, but she's attracting someone else.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She's attracting someone else.
Correct.
So here's the thing about that. And for any of my other fellows watching this stream or whatever, if your girl has what we would consider to be attention, like for an example, what we would consider to be attention-seeking behavior, if she's posting up selfies in like tight dresses or maybe or swimsuits or maybe even lingerie to social media, right? Would you consider that to be attention-seeking behavior?
1,000%.
1,000%. So this is pretty much the message I want to relate to all the gentlemen in the room. If your girl is doing that and you're in a relationship with her, you ain't in that relationship with her no goddamn more. You think you are. To her, you are not, because she is seeking attention from outside sources, and she has that attention from those outside sources. Now they will be like, oh no, she does it to express herself because it makes her feel good. Well, yeah, of course, she gets the instant gratification and the instant validation that comes with it. But where does that validation come from? Outside sources. So just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. For some guys, that's a turnoff. That's a no-no. You see what I'm saying? But just like it's a no-no for him, it is a hell yes for somebody else. So it doesn't always make her undesirable. No, it doesn't. No, it does not. Okay. Do you think women's interests lead them to attention seeking? What do you mean by that? Because I think I've already answered that, but elaborate on that one.
Well, again, this I'm not trying to make fun of the female nature, okay, or anything, okay, but like I was said before, it's in their it's their desire or their need or their want to look attractive for men, of course, and females, of course, because in my opinion, and I think pretty much everyone else can agree with me, that women are more drawn to things that are more that was what I'm looking for, that are they're more drawn to things that are more aesthetically pleasing, that look, I don't know, dare say, prettier or feminine, I guess. Like they're.
Oh yeah, well, yes, definitely, yes, that is true.
Yes,
that is true.
Like
but again, that's something that has evolved from our evolutionary past.
Yes,
I mean, yes, that is true. But yeah, but in terms of like, do their interests? I don't think it's necessarily there. Okay, remember what I said. Men typically are more interested in things. Women are typically more interested in people. Again, keep in mind, attention. That is a social. That's a social mechanism, right? Because the attention has to come from somewhere, right? It doesn't come from the wall. It doesn't come from the TV. It doesn't come from a plant. It comes from other people. That's a communal thing, right? And again, remember, women tend to be more interested in people, so that attention that's part of that.
That's what I'm saying. They do things to make those people interested in them, to garner that attention from them.
Yes, exactly. And yes. I would go as far as to say that yes, they do need that, and I'm gonna tell you why they need that. Once again, going back to Evo Psych, in our evolutionary past, a woman who was kicked out or ostracized or exiled from that peer clutch, she died. She died. If she was removed from the tribe, she died. So they need They need that. Like they cannot be cut off from people. They can't do that shit. And if you don't believe me, dude, go read some of these horror stories that have taken place since the lockdown happened. You see what I'm saying? They need that interaction. Here's the other thing too. If you ever look at like cults, right? Like freaky ass little cults. What's the first thing that the cult leader does whenever they bring someone new into the cult? Have you ever watched documentaries on cults? I don't know. Have you?
Here and there, yeah. Probably
Okay, I'll tell you. The first thing they do is they cut them off from their previous social circle. So they cut them off from their family. They cut them off from their friends. They isolate them. Then they initiate them into that cult. And the way they're able to keep them there is that they make those people dependent, men and women, for the record, men and women. But this has an extreme deleterious effect on women. And we know this because we've studied this shit. When we're talking about the female psyche, dude, because guess what? Pimps do the same thing. Pimps do the same thing. First thing they will do when they take a girl, they will cut her off from her family. They will cut her off from her friends. They will cut her off from her entire social circle. And then they will make that girl dependent on that pimp.
Mm-hmm.
Cults do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not throwing no stones, but Scientology does the same thing. And other religions do the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So again, because they need those social relationships. They need that. They don't function without them.
Yep.
I mean, that's not to say that they can't, but they typically don't thrive without them. How about this? Have you ever observed like grade school girls? Like the way they act with their friends?
I'm not sure if I should even answer that question.
Well, I'm just saying, like, do you remember when you were in school? How did the girls act with the other girls?
Well, again, it's a case-by-case basis, but some were cordial, some were catty, I guess you could say. It just depends on what the situation was and who's talking to who.
And I take it you don't have any sisters?
No, I do not.
See, I got 3.
Yeah.
Do you know what is the worst thing you could ever say to a little girl? That one little girl could say to another little girl. You know the worst thing one little girl could say to another little girl? I'm not going to be your friend anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That is the kiss of death to a little girl. Because it's the ending of a social relationship. And if they're in a peer clutch, if they're in a little clique, that means that little girl is in danger of being ostracized from that peer. Dude, you remember Mean Girls? You can't sit with us. Regina couldn't sit at the table anymore, remember?
Oh, yeah.
You can't sit with us. Yeah. Because back in the day, that meant death for a woman.
Mm-hmm.
They need that. They need those relationships, dude. They need those peer clutches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Correct.
All right. Okay, so number 9, do you think women attention seek because they're afraid of consequences or are afraid to act for what they deserve? I think I just answered that in the last question, but if there's a part of it that I haven't touched on, please feel free to elaborate with that specific question. Because I think I actually did just answer that one.
Yeah, I'd say you did.
Because they're afraid of consequences or are afraid to act for what they deserve. What do you mean by those 2 things specifically, though?
Well, I don't want to say it goes back to the question of do women attention seek maliciously because then we'd just be going back over that question again. But yeah, because like I said, I'm really trying to be I'm really trying to be nice here. Um,
Do, 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 do. Okay. How about we skip this one and come back?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Now this one's interesting. Do you think some girls adopt the frat girl act to attention seek as well? And you specified this as being like pretty much when they kind of adopt like a tomboyish persona so that they can hang around guys.
Yes.
Sure. That's just a different strategy in turn. Remember what I said about how they attention seek, as a means to compete against other girls and stuff like that. That's just another strategy. But I'm gonna tell you this though, and I feel confident saying this: no woman who is interested in actually mating with a male in said peer clutch is going to try and be one of the guys. No, she's not. No, she's not. They don't do that if they're trying to actually like hook up with one of the guys. Because women know better. You don't pretend to be one of the guys in order to get with that guy.
Yeah.
Just like men should never try to be one of the girls. You should, again, I've said this before on camera. I'll just reiterate this too. Dudes, gentlemen watching this video, if your best friend is a woman, she ain't your best friend. She ain't your best friend. Because men and women define friendship differently. Our concepts of friendship are not the same.
1,000%.
So yeah, any girl who tries to be one of the guys, she's not getting a guy like that. She can try, and I'd be curious to see if she actually succeeds. Because from everything I know, that doesn't really work.
Yeah, and it really doesn't.
Unless, well, hang on. You always account for variable change, right? Always account for variable change. Unless the dude is interested in masculinized women. Because that does exist.
Oh, yeah.
That does exist. There's a reason why the Amazon is a type of porn.
Yeah.
So maybe in that instance, yeah, maybe. But that seems more like an exception than a rule.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we are finally down to our last question. Is there any solution to the attention-seeking dilemma? What do you mean by that?
Well, not to be selfish or anything, but is there any solutions that I guess us, the men, can come up with to make things easier on ourselves when it comes to courting and therefore dating, relationships, mating, what have you, with women? Or
Hold
just
up, bro. Whoa. A woman's attention-seeking behavior is not your problem.
True.
Like, no, like, I know you heard me. I want you to actually realize that. What the hell does a woman attention-seeking on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, OnlyFans, what the fuck does that have to do with you? Nothing. That is not your problem. That's not your problem.
Yeah.
So then what solution are you talking about? Because the question is there any solution to the attention-seeking dilemma? There is no attention-seeking dilemma. That is a product of a social dilemma. Okay, that's a byproduct of the social media dilemma, because they were doing it before fucking social media. It's just that social media makes it so easy to do that it's on steroids. But they've been doing that before social media.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes.
I just saw it coming from Just Sheldon. Makes me laugh because he said, shouldn't you be friends before you date? No, you fucking shouldn't. You absolutely should not. You absolutely should not. No.
No.
You never befriend a woman you're sexually interested in. It's a waste of time.
No. I speak from personal experience on that one.
You'll never do that. That woman needs to know that you are a suitor. You are not interested in being her friend.
Yes. And that's why
because that's how you end up becoming an emotional tampon.
Yeah, I thought I was the only one that knew that phrase.
No. I know that term, bro. I know that term.
Yeah.
That's when you the friend that she calls up in the middle of the night, bitching, whining, moaning, complaining about Jack Thundercock, who keeps dogging her out. And then she goes ahead and she spills out all her feelings onto you because you her friend. And then as soon as she get off the phone with you, she go hook up with Chad Thundercock.
Yeah, you're her time killing hoe,
her teddy bear. You're her teddy bear.
Yeah, her.
And let me tell you something. Nothing scares a woman away faster than a teddy bear with an erection.
Yes.
So no, you should never be a woman's friend before you date. No.
Yeah. Yeah, because
that's not. Now, keep in mind what I said. That's not that you can't befriend a woman that you are dating, but you should not. You should if you're interested in that woman sexually, you should never go at it from the covert contract that you want to be her friend. That's bullshit. And that's that creep behavior that they talk about. And that's the shit that gets you Me Too'd.
Oh yeah.
No, you need to be straight up. You need to be straight up with that woman. I am sexually interested in you. Now, if you want to kick it, we can kick it. But know that I am kicking it because I am sexually interested in you. I'm not just trying to be your platonic friend and hope to become something more. That's a fucking waste of time and you will fail.
Yeah.
So you never do that. Never do that.
Yeah, because what women do, they say, I'm gonna go to the movies with you, fuck somebody else. Men say, I'm gonna fuck you and then go to the movies with somebody else. It's opposite. It's always opposite.
Yeah. Is there? So going back to this question, is there any solution to the attention-seeking? Like I said, there is no attention-seeking dilemma. There's a social media dilemma. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know what the solution is. The reason for that is because now we are coming up on the second generation to grow up with this shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, this is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
This is not going anywhere. This is going to be around for a long time to come. And honestly, dude, that question, is there any solution to it? Dude, that's a whole nother discussion of the week topic, because we'd have to talk about the problems with social media. And no one's ready to have that conversation. Nobody's ready to have that conversation. And guess what? No one's having that fucking conversation. And every goddamn, I shit you not, Trent, this is every goddamn fucking week. I'm going on YouTube hearing about some 17, 18-year-old TikToker who done off themselves. But nobody wants to freaking talk about it. Why are all these kids taking their lives, bro? And why do we know about them? Because of their social media presence.
They're feeling some void, some insecurity that's caused by something.
Social media is creating so many freaking problems.
Yeah,
And
no,
nobody wants to
yeah,
talk about them.
yeah,
Nobody wants to talk about that.
Yeah, the shit. It, frankly, to me, it's a failure.
Oh, of course it is. It's a failed social experiment.
Oh yeah.
Failed social experiment.
Yeah, F minus failed experiment. So, yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, but you know what the hell are we gonna do?
Okay, so we have a few minutes, dude. We have a few minutes, because it's 9 o'clock right now. But we did start a little bit late, and the time I'm seeing is pretty much like 58 minutes. I'm sorry, 52 minutes. So we got about 8 minutes left. You want to go through some questions in the comments since nobody super chatted, but that's fine.
Yeah.
You guys don't have to super chat, for the record. You don't have to. So I can't get, well, no, I think if I go back far enough, I could get all the comments.
Yeah, I'm kind of
No, they only go up to a certain spot, certain thing.
Yeah,
I'm seeing a lot of hitting comments though.
Yeah, wonder why.
Because people are cussing.
Yeah,
I don't know what they're cussing about.
Lord.
I don't know what they're cussing about. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
Lord
people are
knows.
mad.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I tell you what, I'm just gonna get some of these questions that I do have access to, because let me see, StreamYard goes up to 8:38 and YouTube goes up to YouTube's not giving me a timestamp.
I'm seeing 9:40. So
You mean 8:40?
Well, yeah, 9:40 my time, 8:40 for your time.
Yeah, so
About 20.
Yeah. Okay, so let me see. Seems like they're talking about somebody I don't know who they're talking about.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through the comments on YouTube on my cellular phone here. I'm not seeing too many.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. Wow. No, it's not a bad thing. There's just like a discussion happening in the comments, so I'm going through the discussion, but I'm not seeing questions directed at us. It's just the discussion.
I know. Well, I got a good one here from Dejan De Juan. Although it's not really worded like a question, it's worded more like a statement. He says, "Is feminism like a cult?"
Not in the traditional sense, but it does incorporate some of the same like mental tactics, like brainwashing tactics. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could consider it one, but it's not in the traditional sense of what I was talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess you could consider it one. Okay, first super chat of the night. This one comes from Jay Takeshi, $5 super chat. Thanks so much. He says, "Yo, Larry, do you think women should be held accountable for their actions instead of blaming men for their choices?" Of course. Of course.
Hell yeah. But good luck trying to do that.
Well, I mean, you can still hold them accountable even if they don't hold themselves accountable.
Yeah.
I mean, again, dude, I have 3 sisters. I've always held them accountable, whether they liked it or not. If they fucked up, I held them accountable.
And good on you for doing that.
My pops did the same thing. That's how he raised them.
Yeah.
You don't get to blame a man for all your problems. My pop, dude, and it's not just with the girls. It's just with us, period. When I was coming up, whenever we would get into like fights at school or whenever we get into arguments with other people, whenever we got in trouble because we got into it with somebody else, you know what my dad's first question was?
I can imagine, but
my dad's first question was always, what did you do?
Mm-hmm.
What did you do? But daddy, he was like, I don't care about them. I want to know what you did. What was the role you played in that? Because my dad, his logic was, I didn't raise them. I raised you. I don't expect better from them. I expect better from you.
Right. Right. Yeah.
All right, let me see. Okay, I'm gonna have to start scanning real fast.
I saw another question from somebody. I can't remember who it was, but it said, "How can men?"
real quick.
Yeah.
Period says Larry reminded me of the episode of Boy Meets World when Sean joined a cult. That episode is called Cult Fiction, and it is my favorite episode of that show. I've talked about that before. It's my all-time favorite Boy Meets World episode. It's called Cult Fiction. I love that episode. But the center, they employed those same brainwashing tactics on Sean in that episode. Yep, they sure did.
Yeah, I saw a comment from somebody. I can't remember who it was, but it said, "How can men overcome their urges to simp, or just to be a simp in general?"
They have to be educated, man.
Oh yeah.
They have to be educated.
Yep.
And the type of education I'm talking about, that doesn't just come from necessarily just reading books and listening to speakers and stuff like that. That is one of the ways you do it, but that education, unfortunately, for a lot of men, they have to experience trauma. They have to go through some shit. They have to experience some shit so that they're opened up for that new information, because that information is going to contradict everything they've ever learned in their entire life.
Oh yeah.
So, and here's the other thing too. I don't like throwing around the term simp because people don't actually know what that term. Do you know what that term means?
Yeah, I mean simpleton. Right? Is that what it's short for?
Nope.
Right.
The term. So real quick, simp, S-I-M-P, is originally spelled S-Y-M-P. It is short for sympathetic. That is an old pimp term. That pimps use to describe Johns that they were able to squeeze more money out of because their girls would tell these sob stories and the Johns would end up paying extra money for them. That's where that term comes from.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ, man, you're blowing my mind over here. Christ, how did I not know that?
Because most people don't know that, because they just consider it to be like a popular jingoism and they just run with it, not really knowing what the origins of it is. Dude, if you could go look up Iceberg Slim and go read his book.
Iceberg Slim.
Yeah. And go read his book.
Okay.
And learn where this stuff actually originated with. So what the term is supposed to mean is a man who is sympathetic to the plight of women. That's what it's supposed to mean. But, people just took that term and used it for everything else and just ran off with it. And because people like to use that term to describe like a sucker or a chump or something like that. And you can do that. But, hang on, are we still live? Because I'm getting a connection warning. I think we are still live.
Yeah.
I thought YouTube was pulling us already.
No,
But
no.
anyway, but yeah, so people use that term, as an insult to try and just, try to label a guy a sucker or a chump or this is that and the other, because usually he's, he gets played by a woman, he's con, something like that. And you can use that term in there, but put that within the proper context. Because more often than not, I see people are not using that within the proper context. See,
Yeah.
if a dude just gets conned, that does not necessarily mean he was a simp. That just means that he fell prey to a con. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, if the point of the con was to make that man sympathetic towards that woman, then he would be considered a simp. But if that's not what happened, then no, don't. No. Okay, moving on. I don't know. I don't know who this question's for. Captain Kenneth he says, not being rude, but would you identify as an incel? I don't know who that question's for, though. Is that for one of us?
I would assume so.
I'm not a fucking incel, dude. I get laid all the time.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I got a fucking friends with benefits situation going on right now.
Exactly. So
yeah.
Nah, I think that's for somebody in the chat.
Yeah. So whoever asked that question, can you specify who you were asking that question to?
Yes, Pierre. That is what I meant. I think what Larry meant is if your best friend is a woman, you aren't that woman's best friend. Correct. That is what I meant. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That is what I meant. Because the definitions of friendship are different.
Mm-hmm.
Is this another super chat?
Jesus
yes, this is another one.
Jesus Christ.
What, was there another one that I missed?
No. Just what Jay's saying.
Oh, okay. Wait, hang on. Let me read it. Another one from Jay Takeshi, $5. Thanks so much. He says, I find it funny how women blame men for being single moms when they hold the keys to intercourse and birth control. Yes. You are correct. Yes, he is correct.
I feel like
that doesn't make sense, does it? But it happens all the time.
I feel like that kind of goes back to that one question I had about women sidestepping accountability, if you will.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's still their issue to deal with. They can sidestep their accountability all the fuck they want to, unless they give the kid up for adoption. They still got to raise it.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think I might have missed on. I think I missed some questions, bro. I think a bunch of them jumped away from me. No, they didn't. Because now I'm going back to where I was. No, they didn't.
Yeah, I'm trying to scroll back in the comments here on YouTube. Yeah, my bad for not keeping up on this.
I don't even know what this means. Ferguson the Great says, what if you're not sexually interested, just romantically? What does that even mean? Why are you separating between the two? Those should mean the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what dude. I don't know what distinction you're making between the two, but that should be the same thing.
Yes.
And I don't know if this one is to us or it's to somebody else because it seems like it's replying to somebody else in the chat. It says, no, if you are in a relationship, can you have friends of the opposite sex? But see, the no part makes me think that it's replying to somebody else. If you are in a relationship, can you have friends of the opposite sex? Of course you can, but
yeah.
But again, that's a case by case thing.
Yeah. Guys, if you could try to add whoever you're asking the question to.
Good point. Yeah, that would make it easy to get through these. Because we actually do got to wrap up in about like 5 minutes. I've actually gone 20 minutes over time. But I'm glad we're getting this in now because this sucker is going up on Patreon. So unless you're a patron, you won't be able to see it after this. But again, dude, you guys will get access to it for just $1. Like just $1.
Here's a comment from Destry. She says this whole video's conversation is about women who are insecure gold diggers.
That's one way to look at it.
I mean, yeah, I guess
your mileage may vary. Because we're talking about attention-seeking behavior. That's going to be more extreme. I mean, well, yeah, you can say extreme, but excessive, definitely. That's going to be more excessive among some than it will for others. And I'm also going to tell you this too. Notice how that's a comment that was who made that comment?
Miss Anderson, Destry Shamar Anderson.
A woman made that comment. So see, that's another thing. That's one thing we didn't remember what I said about how attention seeking is used as a combat, as a form of combat amongst women. I would argue even stances in favor or against attention seeking is also a form of combat amongst women.
No, most definitely.
Because remember, you have those women that virtue signal. That's a form of combat amongst women.
Mm-hmm.
Intra sexual combat. That's the term I was looking for. Not intra, because inter is multiple. Intra, self, gender. Intra-sexual combat. That's a form of intersexual combat, man.
Yes.
But I'm glad she said it and I didn't. Jay Takeshi with the $2. Thank you again, sir. He says, yo, Larry, how are you doing in San Antonio? I'm cooling, dude. I'm cooling, literally, because it's kind of chilly right now. I'm lagging. Damn. And I did get that signal button too. How about now? Am I still lagging, guys?
No, you're good.
Okay. Cool.
Trying to see if there's anything else I missed in here.
Who's exposed? Am I exposed because I say I live in San Antonio? Everyone's known that. People been knew that. All the conversations me and Carlos had about being in San Antonio, because Carlos is in San Antonio. Okay. All right, man. We're gonna have to wrap this up. Because I can't stay up all night.
Yeah. Yeah, there she goes again saying I'm canceling this chat because Trent's being scared.
What did you do?
I don't know.
So, all right, I'm gonna be honest, because I'm going back and forth in the chat. I'm just gonna reply to this one because I saw it. Unicorn says, "Do you ever talk about this stuff with your parents?" Of course not.
No.
Of course not. I have old parents, dude.
Yeah.
They grew up in a time that was totally different than ours. Now I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this though.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you this though. The game was the same when they were coming up too. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The game was the same way then. It just didn't present itself the way it does today.
Yeah, like what we said, they didn't have social media exacerbating.
Right. But
steroids.
the game was still the same though. The game was still the same, and the same rules applied back then that they do right now.
Yeah.
But no, I've never talked to my parents about this stuff.
No. Nope.
Fear or hate, he says, do you think a lack of a father figure is a part of the reason why women seek attention on social media? No. Hell no. You know how many of those girls have fathers? You have not been paying attention. So wait a minute. So you telling me you think every chick who does this on social media doesn't have a father? For real?
Wah, wah.
Of course they do. Of course they do. Yeah. Miss Anderson says you're not speaking your mind. Well, considering that you're on my broadcast, that might be a good thing.
Yeah. Because I'm not trying to fucking ruin Larry's YouTube channel. That's why.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But well, you know what? I'm gonna announce it at another time. The Discord is coming. That's all I'm gonna say.
Thank God.
The Discord is coming.
God, I can't wait for that.
The Discord is coming. Ooh. And I won't be on there all the time, but I'll mostly be on there around this time, like late night, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. That's when I'm gonna be on there. But yeah, the Discord is coming. Yeah, I'm gonna open it to patrons first, and then once I open up memberships on the channel, then that's when the members will be able to join. But the Discord is coming.
Yeah,
probably by the end, before March is over with, the OAW Discord will be up and on and popping. Sweet.
So yeah, Destry or Miss Anderson and all the rest of the guys. What if you guys think I'm going off about this now? Just wait till I get fucking lit with a few drinks in me, and I go off on the Discord. Ooh.
Only on the Discord though. Only on the Discord.
Yeah, I think I might.
Dijon says OAW Entertainment Raw on Discord. No, I'm gonna call it something else. I haven't come up with a name yet.
Yeah, I think I will say this. I think I might have to go for a drive on that one because I don't want to. I might get really turned the fuck. I might get real turned the fuck up on that one.
But I'm finally getting that because I do have that time like late night where I can be on Discord. That was my main thing. I always thought like I didn't have enough time to like dedicate to it. I was like, what's the point of having a Discord if I'm barely gonna be on it? But I actually do have the time where I can be on there for a few hours each week.
OAW late nights making a return.
Well, it won't be streams. It'll just be Discords. Yeah. It'll be Trent. I don't think you were around back then when we used to do like the Skype calls.
No, because that was back in like 2013, 14.
No, that was even before that. No, I'm talking about like 10, 11.
Oh yeah.
When we used to do like the Cloud Village.
Oh yeah.
We used to have like the Skype calls. They used to run like overnight. Yeah. No, they used to run overnight. I used to go to bed and then I would wake up and they'd still be on there.
Yeah.
Because we used to just keep the call open. You see what I'm saying? And if you hopped off, essentially that's how we did Discord before there was a Discord. You would just keep the call open and people would just hop in and out.
Yeah.
But you would just keep the call open.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but no, back in like 2009, 2010, I was only like 12, 13 years old.
Oh yeah, you shouldn't have been watching my channel anyway.
Yeah, well, I wasn't.
I wasn't that vulgar back then though.
Well, I wasn't, so don't worry about it. I wasn't.
Okay.
Are those like blog TV streams or Discord streams still up, or like are they archived somewhere?
Which ones?
Like whichever ones, like the Cloud Village ones, or just the Hangout ones.
I don't know if that channel is still up. But I'm not on most of those videos though, because back when I was kicking it with them, most of that would be off camera.
Yeah.
Like I said, we used to be in Skype and shit. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I see this from Obey Anime. He says, "Would you collab with a YouTuber like Kevin Samuels?" I'm too small to collab with somebody like Kevin Samuels. Kevin wouldn't have the time for somebody like me. That's not to say that I wouldn't want to, but I'm too small for somebody like Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
This John Patterson Powell says, "Where you get your pimp knowledge from, Larry? I will join the Discord, find out." I already dropped a little bit of that today. Join the Discord to find out.
Yeah. Can't wait to hear that shit.
Okay. Somebody said Cloud Village is still up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not on most of those videos though. I think I'm only on maybe 2 or 3. I was not on Cloud Village very long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and real quick, Bullet Tube says, "Did you see Kevin Samuels on the Fresh and Fit podcast?" I saw that it was up. I didn't watch it, but I saw it was up. I don't really follow Fresh and Fit actively, but I keep tabs on your boy Myron. I keep tabs on him. Myron Gaines. I keep tabs on him every now and then.
Yeah. Yep.
Anywho, all right. You yawning, so it's time to go. It is time to wrap this up. So I want to go ahead and take this opportunity to thank everybody for watching live. Thanks all the patrons, hopefully patrons, watching after the fact. As always, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow me on social media, facebook.com/OAW Entertainment, twitter.com/OAWENTMT, twitch.tv/OAW _entertainment. Of course, right here on YouTube, youtube.com/OAW Entertainment. And last but certainly not least, if you guys have a discussion of the week topic that you would like to see discussed right here on the channel, become a patron at patreon.com/OAW and select that discussion of the week tier. I have tiers for multiple segments. As most of you guys know, discussion of the week, top 5. What is it? The Crunchyroll tier for anime and manga first impressions, Blockbuster tier for like movie reviews, TV reviews, and anime reviews. Advice Corner, that tier is still up. So yeah, go ahead, by all means, check it out. Once again, patreon.com/OAW. Okay, so what to keep an eye out for? I am going to be on tomorrow. Right now, the video for tomorrow is tentative. It will either be my WandaVision review, since that just wrapped yesterday, or I am just going to do like a Q&A, but I will be on tomorrow. So just keep an eye out for that. And then I might have another review coming later, like this upcoming week, like possibly Tuesday or something. Again, it kind of sort of depends on what happens with that WandaVision review. The reason why I say that is because I'm actually teaming up with Random Black Gamer. We're teaming back up to do the WandaVision review. So it's just a matter of getting our schedules to line up. So yeah, so I don't know if that WandaVision review is going to be tomorrow or if I might have to push it back till Tuesday. I don't know yet. I got to get back with my man Espa and find out. All right. So Trent, you got anything else for the folks before we head out of here?
No, I just want to say, thank you, Larry, for enlightening me on this or helping me change my point of view so I can have a better understanding of the female nature and not just be a total belligerent asshole all the time.
Dude, hopefully I was able to help, but if nothing else, Trent, consider this. Once you learn female nature, like once you understand it, this shit will not piss you off.
Yeah.
Like once you actually understand it, that's why I said women seeking attention is not a problem for men. That's not a male problem.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just standard operating procedure. It's just on steroids right now. That's the only difference. The only difference is the extreme of it, but the act of doing it, that's not a fucking issue, man. That's not a problem.
I feel like I'm making it an issue, which I shouldn't be.
Mountain out of a molehill, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. It can be a problem. It can be. But at that point, then that's more of a personal, like case by case. Like I'm talking about like with a particular person. It could be a problem because it could lead because there could be other underlying issues. The person could be a narcissist. The person could be suffering from BPD. You know what I'm saying? Like there could be other issues with a particular person in which some of that behavior is problematic, but that's not an immediate like default. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't normally just immediately jump to one of those conclusions. Yeah. So
yes.
All right, guys, it is time for us to get out here. Once again, thank you for joining us. Another shout out. Once again, shout out to the faithful. Salute to the patrons. This has been Larry Williams, OAW Commander in Chief. We are signing off. And until next time. Oh, sorry, wrong one. And until next time, peace.
Peace.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?